Hey chicks and dudes, welcome back to the studio. This is Sam, and today we're going to dig in a little bit on the wild world of stereo 3D cinema. Sure, 3D sucks in a lot of major motion pictures. So most of you are probably wondering, well, why the hell are you making a movie in 3D, especially in 2016? That's so 5 years ago. That's so 35 years ago. That's so 80 years ago. Yeah, sure. 3D's had several waves, and most of you are probably looking into the brighter, greener pastures of virtual reality right now. But I feel like there's still a lot of experimentation to be done with 3D, and I don't think it's really seen its full potential in the independent cinema world as another means of expression and a tool for creativity. In Leda, 3D is actually used to visually show the mental states of the characters. I mean, how cool is it to have a 2D screen that has depth? So to start things off, let's first talk about the simple concept behind 3D stereo vision. It's all based on us and our eyes. Each of them has its own perspective on the world, offset from one another by just a couple and a half inches. And this is what gives us stereo vision, allowing us to see 3D depth. The same thing goes for stereo photography. If you got a couple red cameras sitting around, you can try it yourself. I take this guy, it's my left eye. This guy, my right eye. And then if I mux the signals and play it back in a stereo format, I can see depth. But the tricky part becomes getting these the correct distance to define how deep your scene actually looks. And this is where you work in a beam splitter rig. A beam splitter is a mirror-based rig that has two cameras mounted in a configuration that allows them to align up to the same distance as human eyes and closer or farther apart, depending on the depth of the scene. Now, if you have a huge exterior scene, you might want to have your cameras several feet apart in order to give you the view of a giant, miniaturizing the scene and allowing that infinite space to seem visibly 3D. If you have something very close up or macro, you might want to pull them really close together to do the opposite, increasing the depth in a scene that's relatively short in space. So how do I do this technically? Well, it's very easy with the Red Epic cameras. We've got two dragons here, and I've got a few accessories I've got to use. One of them is the Aja Gen 10 sync generator. I use a BNC output from each of these and connect them directly to the sync input on the back of the camera. Now this forces a gen lock for sensor sync on the camera. If the cameras aren't synced up perfectly, then each eye will be slightly off, and any quick movement or pans or such will just ruin the whole 3D effect and potentially cause eye strain and headaches. After that, I use a Gig E cable, which connects from one camera to the other, and it allows me to master and slave the cameras together. Whenever I change the setting in the right eye camera, it'll automatically change the setting in the left eye camera. This is very important because we want to be shooting the same ISO, same shutter speed, and same look also as far as monitoring is concerned. Now, for monitoring, I've been using this, the Matrox box MC100, and it's been working pretty well for me. I do a BNC from each camera into it, and then work with an HDMI output that sends a mux signal to a 3D monitoring system. Now this can monitor in left, right, or above and below 3D, but I've been using anaglyph on set because it makes it very easy to see the parallax in the background in order to judge the growing depth of our film. Now this is a very shorthand version of what it takes to make a 3D film. If you ask my AC or DP, they're probably still a little bit annoyed that I decided to make one on an independent level. Everything has to be doubled, everything has to be synced, including follow focus. But I think it's pretty awesome to have one more tool in the bag to be able to tell a story in 3D depth. So this is Sam, signing off. We're making a 3D movie with these Red Epic dragons where there are no rules, there's barely any money, but there's a hell of a lot of creativity. So I hope you get to see the finished product, and I hope you've learned something. Catch you next time.